everybody. Welcome back to the Half Day Adventures podcast. My name is Alex.
And my name's Christian.
And we were actually going to do a conspiracy theory episode, but we're actually putting a pause on that, so stay tuned. Instead, we are actually going to be talking about Halloween Horror Nights
nice.
32 Ew. At Universal Studios, Florida. So on the 28th of July, we actually got a ton of announcements announcing all of the scare zones and haunted houses that are going to be happening at this year's event, as well as the show that's going to be happening and a couple other things in between. But super exciting. I was not expecting to have all those houses drop on one night. We were talking about that. I think maybe they decided to drop all this information because Disney had just released the Haunted Mansion movie. I don't know. I'm catching some similarities.
Wait, was it the same night by Maisie?
It was the same day. So again, July 28th
nice.
is when we got all of those announcements. Usually I feel like Universal, they kind of drop like a couple houses here and there. And
right. There's a bunch of rumors, a lot of speculation, and then eventually it's either confirmed or denied with new houses or whatever. And it's sporadic throughout the year.
Yeah, but the last few years, I feel like they've been like really like waiting till the last second to announce their houses and being very sparing with it. At least that's what it seems like. But prior to this, there were a few houses that were announced. We're going to circle all the way back to Halloween Horror Nights 31. Last year's. They right away, as soon as the event ended, they announced that there was in fact going to be a Chucky house. So that was already something that we knew that we were going to have for this year's event. And that was the only thing up until...
started saying right again.
There it is. It was a matter of time. But I kind of want to look and see when...
When what? Yep.
Back June 15th. It seems like it was longer than that. June 15th was the first house that they had announced for the event, which was going to be The Last of Us. We talked about that in one of our past podcasts, but that was like the first big house that they announced, obviously, and we knew one of the anchoring IPs, intellectual properties, that they were going to be using as a theme for this year.
Right, and it's based off the video game, not the...
Correct.
Is someone alarm going off right now? Someone's car alarm's going off.
It's mine.
That's great.
But yes, as you were saying, that it is based off of the video game, the PlayStation video game.
Right, PlayStation.
So maybe not off the series. I don't know how close both the series and the game are. You allegedly would know because you played.
Well, I haven't seen the series yet, so I can't really compare those two. But I think because you don't even want to watch the series, I might just stream the video game. And if you want to watch it, you can go ahead and watch it. Or maybe I'll have you stream the video game. Actually, that probably would be a good idea. Because it'd give you like some type of feeling of how, because the game itself is kind of suspenseful. It's really thriller, and you know.
So is it like scary, or is it just a thriller?
It's both, I guess. Really, I mean, you get your heart pumping. You're like kind of like trying to avoid the infected people. I forgot what they're called. I haven't played a game in a while, so.
Well, we'll see how that is, but that at least was one of the houses that we knew that was happening, and we can right away off the bat just read the description for that one if you want to pull it up. We're utilizing the iPad Pro right now.
Heck yeah.
As we go through these houses and scare zones, we're going to actually read the description that's listed on the official Universal website. However, I feel like there's a lot of websites, and even Universal itself kind of posts like different things as far as what the story of the house or the description is, but I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I thought I was reading other stuff that I'm now seeing online, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah, but also before we start, I do want to say that I have been listening to the Discover Universal Halloween Horror Nights podcast. Well, it's Discover Universal, but they have the Halloween Horror Nights segment that's coming out every time throughout this year. So I'm going to put the link in the bio for that. Definitely go listen to them because they give you a better description of what exactly the houses are. So it gives you the entire story of the houses. And this year, I don't think they did it last year. They're actually talking to the people who created it and I guess themed it up. So it's kind of neat to listen to them. It's a little awkward though, so I don't know. But we're kind of awkward too, so who cares? But if you guys just like listening to what we have to say and you just want, I mean, everything what I'm going to tell you is pretty much what I heard from them. So.
Well, and that's good. I mean, I was listening to the one on the Dr. Oddfellow one, and we can talk about that more when we talk about that haunted house. But
haunted house? I thought it was scare zones.
I'm pretty sure it's both, but
fun.
Again, we'll touch on that in a moment. But right now, I think there's only one like actual episode on.
Yeah, and right now, as the time of recording, yeah, it's Dr. Oddfellow's the only real story.
But last year we were listening to those podcasts like toward the middle and end of the actual event. And it was interesting because they did one, I think, for every single original house that they had. And it was really cool to like hear the backstories of the houses because of course you go through them, but you don't necessarily know. I don't know, low-key, you necessarily don't even know what they're about. I think you just walk through and you're like, oh, I know this is a house about bugs, like the bug house, but like that's it. Because you get pushed through so fast, there's really not a lot of time to understand a story, even if you wanted to.
When I was listening to the podcast earlier today, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, the stories aren't really generated for, or they're not created for your usual like guest. You know what I mean? This you're like your
the average guest.
The average guest, yeah. There you go. It's the deep fans or big fans that want to know a lot more about the houses and all the stories and all that stuff. Because I feel like, I mean, what you have like a couple teenagers going one night. Go have some fun. They don't care about the story and all that stuff. So,
which, like, I don't know that I cared about it necessarily. Like,
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, we didn't care about it, and now that we're a lot of more, we like to know because we're a little bit more involved. I would like to say.
And I guess I never really understood that all those stories existed. So the fact that they do now, I am interested.
And it's a whole bunch of stories. Like, if you guys ever played Call of Duty, the zombies, it's like every game is another like story to has to do how these zombies were created. It's kind of like these houses. There's always something new coming through about what, like the Oddfellow. I'm pretty sure the story for Dr. Oddfellow is new. It's always been foreshadowed.
Yeah, I was going to say it's like always somehow like linked and intertwined with things that have happened in the past, and not really a spoiler alert, but like basically this event, I think that it's all going to be intertwined through Dr. Oddfellow from what I'm understanding. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering if he's actually like the unofficial or like not yet announced like icon.
Right.
Because we didn't have an icon really in the last couple years. And we've talked about the icons in our past episodes before. Again, Jack the Clown is an icon. Chance is an icon. Lady Luck is an icon. The list goes on. But the last few we have not had one. So I'm wondering if they'll bring this Dr. Oddfellow, whoever he is, as this year's.
But also, like, Lady Luck is an icon, and I mean, that's what I'm saying. Dr. Oddfellow would also be an icon, but Lady Luck didn't have like her own year, like how Jack and Chance. No, I'm pretty sure I was listening today. Like, some of them don't have them all. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I can't tell. But anyways, let's get into it. All right? Last of Us.
Cool. So, description for the Last of Us house, and again, this is going to be a haunted house. I don't know if did they release a map.
I think they did. If they did, I'll put it right here, right now.
Well, I would like to go off of it because then we could say where that one is going to be. So read your description. I'm going to see if there's a map.
Sure, you go ahead and do that. You and your squad will encounter the haunting and overgrown world of Naughty Dog's video game in a brand new, terrifying way. As you make your way through an abandoned Pittsburgh, join Joel and Ellie, and don't make a sound if you want to survive clickers, hunters, and more. That's what they're called. No matter what, keep finding something to fight for. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be just pretty much them running around, and you're just gonna get jump scared. I want to know if there's gonna be like a story. I need to play the video game again because I need to see how it goes.
But I thought that you said that you already knew.
Oh my god, I played the video game when it came out. How many years ago? Also, they said this is a part 1, so I'm assuming they're gonna be doing a one for the second game as well.
You just read that it was part 1?
No, I heard earlier this morning when I was listening to the Universal Discovers podcast that it's like the guy who was not creating it, because I mean, you like just working on it, said that it's a part 1. So
I guess so. I mean, Universal does multi-part houses, but that's more so themed off of like the series of like things. Like American Horror Story, they had several American Horror Story houses over the years because you can't fit it all into one, and it like focuses on different seasons. I don't know if this is, I don't know. I don't understand The Last of Us, so really.
Well, we'll watch that and also maybe play the video game so we can get a better understanding of how it's going to be.
But I'm sure that one's going to be a popular one because that was a big show that came out that a lot of people were interested in. So
right.
I don't know if I can find a map now. I'm really interested.
Maybe on Instagram? No? Anyways, it doesn't matter.
Okay, but so then the next house that was announced, almost a month after The Last of Us was our second IP, and the one that I think a lot of us were speculating and was actually rumored to be happening last year. And there was something that fell through with, like, I don't know if it was like the copyrights or what exactly it was. And apparently the whole house had been built. They had to quickly change it last minute and change it into Hellblock Horror, which was a house that a lot of people were like, oh, this house is not good. It seems really random. It was like put together last minute. Yeah. But so that house, they said, was originally supposed to be Stranger Things. Again, Stranger Things came out last year, season 4, super popular, and they've done Stranger Things several times in the past. So that was a rumor of what we would be getting this year. And in fact, they did. They announced Stranger Things. That was announced on July 13th, that we would be getting Stranger Things 4.
Right, I was going to say specifically 4.
Yeah, so circling over the 4th season. So super exciting. That's the one probably I'm most excited for. I love Stranger Things. And the description for this house, again, look it up because I don't have it up, but I'm looking at the official Instagram for Halloween Horror Nights. But the description from them, like right off the bat, just the short one, was join the fight against Vecna, and don't let him get in your mind. So circling around that.
Right. So it says right here, the description, you must band together with your squad. Are they still doing Scare Squad? Scream Squad?
I don't know.
What is it? You must band together with your squad if you want to resist Vecna's gruesome curse. Take on the scariest season of Stranger Things yet. Like 11, now's your chance to stop him once and for all, as you have the ultimate showdown in Vecna's blood-red mindscape. Every ending has a beginning. And also, when I was listening to the podcast earlier today, they were saying that it's going to start with Chrissy and move forward. So you know how you were talking about being in Eddie's trailer and then going into this the Upside Down. I don't think it's going to be like that. I'm pretty sure it starts with Chrissy and you'll be running through the season. It could
still start in the trailer, because where did Chrissy die? In the trailer, if you remember.
You know what? Maybe you are right. Dang, I'm just dumb.
We talked about that in our last episode, so I know it's a long one, but go watch the last episode. We did insert some pictures if you want to see those.
We'll insert pictures here too. Wait, pictures of what?
No, they can go back and listen to the other one.
But I'm saying, like,
the picture that someone snuck a picture of and posted on Facebook of the trailer.
Yeah. I'm not going to post that one here, but I will post pictures.
It is in our other episode if you would like to look at it. But I still stand by that. I think the house is going to start by entering Eddie's trailer. And you know what? I didn't even think about maybe starting with Chrissy, but Chrissy did die in Eddie's trailer, and that's how the whole thing started. So I'm standing by that.
Validation. That's good. Yeah. I agree with you. I think that's how it's going to start. I didn't even think that Chrissy died there. For whatever reason, I thought she died in her home, but she was in her own mind dying in her home, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one's going to be...
it'll be fun. I want to see how they do like the whole like bones breaking and uncracking and all that stuff. That'll be cool to see.
Sure, it's going to be a dummy. I don't think they're going to do that.
I don't know. Some person's just going to go crack their bones? No one's saying that.
Well, I just feel like I can picture her being okay, I just like picture you walking into the trailer and like Eddie screaming. You're going to see him right off the bat. And Chrissy's going to be like up on the ceiling, like one of those like mannequins that they typically do. And it's just going to be a short walkthrough of the trailer really quick until you get on with the house.
Upside down area pretty much.
I'm so confident.
But also like the Eddie part, I'm sure he's going to be like, Chrissy, like coming out, like how like they come out from the corners and they be coming out screaming, Chrissy.
And I just know,
Chrissy, wake up.
I just know people are going to be walking through the house saying that.
Yep.
Chrissy, wake up.
Okay. But
I don't like this. It's going to be like those TikToks of everyone at the Comic-Con.
What, they all sang it together?
Yeah. And they're like, what the hell is this? Where everyone's dressed up and they're all singing the like remix version of Chrissy Wake Up. That's what it's going to be. I just know it. But I'm really excited. I'm sure there's going to be like the guitar scene. Again, in the last episode, I said that my hairdresser said that it's going to be like a lot of Eddie Munson, which makes sense because everybody was, I feel, highly obsessed with him. But I'm excited. I think that house is going to speak for itself. All the other Stranger Things houses were really good. It was like walking through the season. All the set pieces were really cool. So I think it'll be good.
I think for that house, I'm more excited about seeing Max in the air. And then hearing that song probably playing, right?
A lot of Vecna, the clock. Yeah, I'm sure that song will play. Yeah. Especially, I feel like at the end when you walk out of the house. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. And then I'm sure with season 5 coming in a couple years, we'll see a house like that too. Right. I don't see how they.
It'll be fun. Cool.
All right. So up to that point, we had no other announcements of houses. So we only had Chucky, The Last of Us, and Stranger Things. And then again on the 28th, boom, they were like, Happy Halloween. Here you go. Here are all of your announcements.
Wait, but did we talk about Chucky?
Oh, yeah. No,
Do we need to talk about Chucky? So we'll talk about Chucky real quick. Chucky says, well, there's not really, it doesn't say anything about details, but it says, Chucky the serial killer doll is back for a new gore fest. He's hijacked his own haunted house with all kinds of bloody hijinks. You and your friends must try to survive this ultimate kill count.
I think it's going to be based off the show.
No. So here's the thing that I was listening to the podcast earlier. They were saying that Universal went to Chucky and said, hey, we made a haunted house about you.
The doll? They went to the doll?
Yeah, or something like that.
Chucky,
here's a house. And just come look at it. You know what I mean? That's exactly what they said. Just come look at it. Tell us what you think. And so then Chucky goes over there and he's watching this and he's like, what's all this shit? You guys are just... This is all fake. You guys aren't even killing anybody. And they're like, well, I mean, it's a theme park. We're not going to kill anybody. And then Chucky goes, no, we got to kill people. And then he starts trying to kill everybody's going through the house. And then you're trying to survive him killing you. So
wait, literally, that's the story of the house?
Yeah, pretty much the story of the house, yeah.
So quite literally, it's supposed to be that Universal built a house.
For Chucky.
Like the puppet, like the character.
Yeah.
Like, we built this for you. We're talking to him. And he came and saw it and said, no one's dead.
Yeah, no one's dying. That's what I got from it.
So it's like breaking the fourth wall.
Sort of.
A little bit.
Something like that. Yeah, that's what I understood from it.
Like Chucky
Maybe
knows he has a haunted house.
Episode. But they're like, yeah, here's look, we made this house out of you or off of your show and all this stuff. And then he's like, but you guys aren't even killing anybody. And then he goes on a rampage trying to kill everybody. I think he even kills the people who created the house. So that's the story. We'll see how that plans out and how it is. But that's what I heard this morning. So
interesting. I'll have to listen to that. We've seen Chucky a couple of times at Halloween Horror Nights throughout the years. A lot of the times he was actually, I don't know. I don't want to say for sure. House, right? Well, I was gonna say I don't know if there's been a house. There's definitely been scare zones. And the last couple of years they did like random like a photo op. It wasn't even
photo op, and then they have like food places for Chucky.
Yeah, but I thought that was because the show came out, which I did not watch.
No.
And it was like based off of that. Like they're promoting that new show when it came out. So
was that show good? Do you know?
I didn't watch it, so I can't confirm.
Like you haven't heard anybody talk about it?
I don't know.
Anyways, yeah, so
that'll be
that's
cool.
That's the story behind that.
But those are all of the big IPs. I know. Those are all the big IPs that were announced, but we have one other one. And this one is going to be The Exorcist. What is it? Because it's not
Believer.
The
and
Exorcist
it's based
Believer.
off of the new movie that's coming out.
Correct. I thought that there was going to be the regular Exorcist, like the original, because someone kept saying there's going to be an Exorcist house that was speculated on all the spec maps.
Nice, yeah.
But
so I don't know how you guys are speculating all this stuff, and I need to know because you guys are on top of it. I'm sure they have
inside sources and things like that.
Where's my inside source?
I know who mine could be.
I was about to call her out.
But anyway, so this is going to be based off of the Blumhouse movie. What's it called? The Exorcist?
Believer.
That's what the movie's called?
Yep.
So that'll be our Blumhouse house because we've had one again for the last four or 5 years, honestly.
Right. So here, let me read the description real quick. Fine. 2 missing girls have been found with no memory of what happened to them, but wherever they went, the ultimate evil has returned with them. Enter the most terrifying scenes from the new Blumhouse film.
Wow.
So yeah, again, heard it in the podcast this morning. Basically, these 2 girls are like wandering out, and then they get lost or something. They come back to their mom, and I guess whenever they were out, something happened to them, and I guess they got a demon attached to them or something. And that's how you get the Exorcist.
Typical demon story.
Yep.
I don't know. This one's I mean, well, I don't know. I feel like the Blumhouse houses in the past few years have been like joint, like they've included 2 movies in them. Last year they had Freaky and Black Phone. I almost said something that was inappropriate.
Freaky Friday?
No, just Freaky.
It's just called Freaky? Oh, I didn't watch it.
And Black Phone.
Black Phone was good. I liked Black Phone.
That one was good. But they've always done like a mix with like The Purge and Insidious and all. Is there a new Insidious coming out too?
There's a new Insidious coming out. Yeah, you're right.
But it's not out yet.
Actually, I thought it was out. Maybe it's not.
Well, I was going to say, like, I thought that maybe they could combine that with something because that was the only thing that I knew. I've not even heard of this movie. Also, someone said that they were going to do Evil Dead last year because there's an Evil Dead movie coming out, and then they decided to not do that house because
Evil Dead
the movie
is already out, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It didn't come out last year, so that's why they weren't going to do that house last year. And I guess we didn't get an Evil Dead house this year, so
yeah, that's true. But But also, yeah, they were saying that when you enter this house, it's going to be like a trailer sneak peek preview into the movie when it does come out, because it's not going to come out before the event starts. So there you go. If you guys are dying to see The Exorcist, go to this house.
Literally dying.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm excited really about that house necessarily. I think, I don't know. It could be good. I love exorcisms.
Exorcist houses are fun. I love exorcisms. Hello? No. The past Exorcist house have been fun. One of my favorite things, and it's probably the nostalgic thing that I get from, is the barf smell. It's the worst. That's
disgusting.
It's the worst, but it's what it reminds me of Halloween Horror Nights.
I will still stand by that I get a whiff of the exorcism house anytime I walk by a turkey leg at Disney. The exorcism puke scene in that house literally smells like turkey legs. It's spot on.
That's gross.
Yeah, well, that's definitely, it's probably like meat.
That's what the smell is? Meat?
Yeah.
Gross. But yeah, no, that's the nostalgic smell that I get from Halloween Horror Nights.
We'll see. Yeah. I won't cut it down yet. Like I said last year, I thought the Blumhouse ones were going to be my least favorite. And I think it
was our favorite, yeah.
Yeah, it was our favorite one. So.
What was our favorite one? The Weeknd? No, The Weeknd wasn't. What was our favorite one?
You'll have to go back and listen to the episode, I guess.
There we go. So if you guys want to know what we did last year or what we ranked them last year. No,
we did a couple episodes. We did one, I think, talking about the event itself, and then I think we did a final rankings, maybe. Are you sure?
I don't think we did a finals rankings.
I thought we did.
No, but we'll probably do that this year. So we'll probably do this one. It's like our opinions or our thoughts of what it's going to be. Then we'll do our thoughts of what we thought about them, and then we'll do a final ranking at the end.
I thought we did too last year.
I don't think we did, but I don't know. Maybe it's in an episode somewhere.
I still can't remember if they released a map. It's going to bother me. I feel like I read different things like when this was released and there was more information.
I'm pretty sure I sent a map on the group chat. So if you want to go on the group chat and look for it, I'm pretty sure it's there. But here we go. On to the next one. Now that we're done with the IPs, again, those are the 4: Chucky, Last of Us, Exorcist, and Stranger Things 4.
Chunky.
What did I say? I said Chunky? No, it's Chucky. So then now we have the original houses that they've created. And starting off is Universal Monsters Unmasked. Wait, is that a IP or is that an original house?
Oh, well, there's this map that you posted. Yeah. This is from Horror Nights News, which is actually basically, I'm pretty sure,
Universal?
No, it's like Walt Disney World News Today, like one of those blogs. So I don't know if this map is actually legitimate. Actually, this says speculation release. This is the third and final spec map.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't even the real thing.
This is fake. We're not reading this. Forget it.
Okay, but
we'll find out where the houses are. We'll talk about this, obviously.
In another podcast episode, maybe.
All right. I want to read some now.
Go ahead.
All right. So the next houses that we're moving into are all the original houses, which sometimes these ones can be hit or miss, but they do show the creative side of Universal. And then you can obviously play up on all of these. But let's go ahead and start with the Dr. Oddfellow. Because like I said today, I was listening to the podcast.
Do you want to do Dr. Oddfellow first? Because that one's pretty much the biggest one. I feel like the entire thing. Let's do everything else and then let's hit Dr. Oddfellow.
Fine. We're not going to talk about Dr. Oddfellow instead. We're going to talk about Universal Monsters Unmasked. This is the third or fourth Universal Monsters that we've gotten, because there was the first one that was in the back of the park over by the old parade building.
Okay.
And that was the one that my dad kept calling Monsters Inc.
Right.
And was not understanding that Universal Monsters was not Mike Wazowski, which is where the whole gag comes from with Mike Wazowski and my dad. If you've seen that TikTok on our TikTok page, it's really funny. But it's a running joke. But anyway, there was that one.
Is Mike Wazowski in there?
Literally is what he said. We were
we passed by someone who was dressed as Sully and Mike Wazowski, which I thought was really funny.
Yeah, that was funny. But we had that first house. Then the pandemic year is when we had, which kind of was that type of house. You don't know. They're all looping into the same thing. The pandemic year was the Bride of Frankenstein, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
because that one they showed they had that early and yeah, they had that one early.
So that one, and I can't remember if we had that one the next year. I don't know. We have to check. But then there was a Universal Monsters,
like Dracula and all that
Unleashed,
stuff.
I think it was called.
It's like Legends Unleashed, maybe? I don't know. But so we've had a couple of Universal Monster houses.
Yeah, there was a combined one. Or no, that was last year's. Was that last year's?
I don't know. I really don't know.
With the Mummy and Dracula.
Mummy, Dracula, and Werewolf was last
I was actually
year.
talking about that today with some people at work.
And that one was in Egypt.
Yeah.
That one was last year.
Mm-hmm. But I was talking about that today with someone at work, and we were talking about another house that they're going to have, about how like the endings can change. So,
oh my God, don't even. Yeah, that's a Dueling Dragons one. We'll get to that one.
But last year the Universal Monsters Legends. Oh, it's literally on that cup that's right there.
Oh my God, yeah. What the heck, dude? This is kind of scary.
Gotta get your souvenir cup.
Yep.
That was a good house, but the whole thing with the Legends house, Legends whatever it was a battle.
Of who's gonna get the stone, right? Or what?
The amulet between the Mummy, the werewolf, and Dracula. And so every time you got to the end, there would be like a winner. And I feel like every time we went through, there was always someone holding the Dracula's head, like Dracula lost.
Is that what it was?
I'm pretty sure. But it was funny because someone at work today was like, "Yeah, Dracula always lost because we couldn't staff Dracula." And I was like,
"But I've seen Dracula.
Yeah, but I also feel like more times than not, we saw them holding the Dracula head. They would walk out. So I thought that was kind of funny because I was like, makes sense.
Funny. That's kind of cool though, yeah.
Also, that person worked in the bug house last year.
Oh, that's cool.
And he
forgot about the bug house.
And he said that the air conditioning was broken in there and it was like so hot. Can you imagine like wearing a Halloween mask and all that stuff, being like in a sweaty, smelly, foggy
No, but
house?
even in a cold place, wearing all that stuff, you'd like actively doing that for however long they're doing that, it gets tiring and hot.
Okay, but if you're in like an 80-degree house, you know how humid Halloween Horror Nights is.
At 2016, my house is always cold. I always have to wear a sweater, so that's pretty cool.
No, I can just imagine how nasty that was. Anyway, back to the Universal Monsters Unmasked. The description for this one is very short. It includes 4 Universal monsters with 1 new nightmare. Descend into the Paris catacombs, where you and your squad will face a new horde of monsters. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Jekyll? Spelled Jekyll. The Phantom of the Opera, the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and the Invisible Man, which I'm pretty sure the Phantom of the Opera and
we've seen the Phantom of the Opera before.
Yeah, he was in the first Universal Monsters house. I can't remember if Hunchback was, but he might have been.
He might have been, yeah.
Honestly, I don't know if the Invisible Man was too.
I don't think the Invisible Man was there.
I don't think we've seen Jekyll and Hyde. So that's new. But so this is talking about descending into the Paris catacombs.
That's what I'm excited about. I love the catacombs, and like
you act like you've been there or something
above, so
like
below.
that.
No, but like that movie right there, it's fun to.
It is interesting though, because on the spec map that you sent, and I'm pretty sure there was a like prior spec map, they were like noting there's going to be Universal Monsters Paris is what they kept calling it. So again, obviously like information's getting leaked that like they know this is going to be a Paris monster house.
So then that has to be catacombs, yeah.
So I don't know, it's just
fun. So
interesting.
Again, whoever is running out there in the parks every single day and just watching everything that's going on, you guys are observant as hell, and you guys are awesome because that's cool.
Yeah, so that house will be coming. I'm sure it'll be good. I really don't think that I've been in a Universal Monsters house that has not been good.
Right. And
it's cool now that Universal's leaning into their actual, like, one of the things that made them famous. One of the things they know best is their monsters.
Yeah.
All right, so the next one, I'll hold on those two. The next one, this is the dog hair on this. The next house is, I think, going to be one of the
cooler houses.
Like, this is the one that I'm most excited about because I don't remember the year.
You're a liar. You just said Stranger Things, so you're excited about.
I mean, like, original house.
Oh, okay.
So there was a house themed after the Yeti. There could have been several, but the one that I remember was
2 houses that were themed to Yetis.
What was the first
one? Dang it.
Slaughter Cinema,
yep. And it wasn't themed on it, but they had the dang, I have it on my notes, but it's on my phone and I can't see it. That's why I need a camera.
Was it like Swamp Yeti or something?
It's Swamp Babes. Yeah, Swamp Babes, and that was supposed to be a Yeti, and or Yeti or a Sasquatch or something like that. And then there was the Yeti house.
But what was it called? Like Terror of the Yukon or something? It was like a cold Yeti. Cold Yeti.
Cold Yetis are Yetis. What do you mean? There's Sasquatch, Bigfoot, and Yetis.
Oh, that's true.
But so then there was supposed to be, I think one of them was like, so the swamp one is Sasquatch. Then the last year the house was based on Bigfoot, but they called it Yeti. This time they're saying it's a Yeti. No, maybe this time, I don't know. But they said it's a running joke. Listen to the podcast. I don't really know.
I need to hear this. I just remember the one that we did was Yeti, and it was like snowing in there. It was like cold.
It was
and that
nice
was
and cold in
that was
there.
actually a pretty good house. So that's why I think this one's going to be cool. This one's called Yeti. I almost read the description, but Yeti Campground Kills.
Okay. And
So I think it'll be cool because it's like you're at a camp and like Sasquatch is after you. Like that's a scary thing. Like people are afraid to go camping because they think that a Sasquatch or a Yeti will come and get them. So like that's one of those like real life scary things.
yeah, but they also said that it was supposed to be like kind of funny. Like it's a comedy house.
I'm sure it is.
So
I think it'll be funny. The description is Yeti or not, here they come. You and your friends are about to venture into a 1950s campground overrun by huge menacing Yetis who rip apart anyone that gets in their way. You must flee to the ranger tower to escape. So I'm sure it will be funny. There's always kind of like a little gag jokey house every year. Last year it was kind of the bug house and obviously ones in years past. I can't remember them off the top of my head. But I can see that one kind of being like a campy, no pun intended, hokey house. So
yeah, it'll be fun.
I'm excited. I think it'll be good.
I'm excited for that house. I'm not gonna lie.
I think it will look cool too. I can just like picture like, I hope they make it like the ETQ, like with pine trees. Ooh, I hope it smells like pine. That's gonna be another one of my speculations. It's gonna smell like pine.
No, it'll be fun. You
heard it here, folks. All right, next one is Blood Moon Dark Offerings. Bleed for the Blood Moon. In a colonial era village, moon worshipping. No, let me start over. I can't read. In a colonial era village, moon worshippers witness a blood moon at their fall festival. They take it as a sign to hunt down any non-followers, including you and your Scream Squad.
Yeah, so pretty much
they are
this
calling
house
it
right
the
here.
Scream Squad.
It is Scream Squad. Okay, cool, nice. But so this house is gonna be kind of like Roanoke. If you guys have seen what's that one show? American Horror Story, Roanoke.
I didn't really like that season. I don't even know if I finished that season.
I finished it, but it's pretty much the same thing. You're in the same blood moon type situation where during the blood moon, there's like this cult that if you're not in the cult, they're going to go out there and try to kill you. That's pretty much about that. It's going to remind me of like The Witch from last year.
The house was not my favorite. It was probably my least favorite house, honestly, by the end of it.
So I don't have any high expectations for this one, but we'll see what happens. You never know. Those are the ones that really surprise you. So
we'll see. I don't know. Right off the bat, I'm not too excited about that one. I think it's like blah.
Right.
All right. The next one is going to be The Darkest Deal. This one's called The Darkest Deal, Fame is Fleeting, Fear is Forever. Blues musician Pine Straw Spruce will have to face the music after meeting with the Collector and trading his soul for musical glory. You and your squad learn the terrible price of fame.
Yeah, so this one is about you pretty much like, the rumors of people selling their soul to become famous or rich or whatever the heck it is. So it's going to be going off of this bluesy type house.
Yeah, I don't know where I read that, but I'm pretty sure that I read something that it's going to like be based off of like the Mississippi River, like the Delta, Louisiana. I don't know, like something in the South.
I said blues, so it'll be blues themed. Think
someone said it's
Princess
going to
and
be
the Frog, but Nightmare.
in the picture here, you can see there's a.
I'll put it on there.
It's like a devil. It looks like a devil,
and I'm sure he's the collector. So
yeah, someone said it's going to be. Someone said it's going to be based on the song "The Devil Went Down to Georgia."
I don't know that song.
How do you not know that song?
I don't know that song.
There it is. You don't know something.
Okay, but also like they're saying that I think they said something like it's like in the perspective of the bandmates or something like that. So you're the bandmate. Because they were saying like they kind of like the guest is kind of like an inclusion or like you're included in this story.
That's so nice of them.
So,
all right. So now we're going to go into
Dueling Dragons.
Okay. Weird. I would never think that there would be a haunted house based off of this.
The ride?
Yes. So
if you didn't know, there used to be a ride.
Rewind.
Islands of Adventure. Before it was Hagrid's motorbike. What is it? Motorbike Adventure.
Yeah. So when Islands of Adventure opened, there's is it called Lost Continent? I think it's called Lost Continent.
Mm-hmm.
That whole area of the park, and this was before the Wizarding World existed. And basically in this section, it has all these like mythical things. There was like a Merlin section, or like there was a big tree. We should post some pictures. We should find some pictures to add in right
I'll post it right here.
But it was a really cool area, maybe for the times. And one of the big anchor attractions in that section was Dueling Dragons. There was a dueling roller coaster where both sides would be launched at the same time and like come very close to each other when doing the inversions. And it was based off of a story of two dragons, one fire, one ice, choose your fate. So you would go through the queue line and you would choose if you were going to go to the left or the right, whether you were going to be one was called the Chinese Fireball, maybe.
I don't know.
And the other one was called something else.
But there's this story is pretty much like there's a warlock or whatever. He has a spell book.
Well,
something happens to that warlock. What?
I was just going to say, maybe you don't know. Maybe you're finding out the hard way, but Dueling Dragons doesn't exist anymore. They took it out.
Yeah. They have Hagrid's motorbike.
Well, maybe not everyone knows that.
Well, that's why I said it used to be Dueling Dragons. Now it's Hagrid's.
Because
if you did not know.
People really loved this ride. People were very upset that this ride was being taken out. So I think the whole thing is people will be excited about this haunted house because it's a big callback to that ride.
Have you ever been on it?
Yeah.
I think I've been on it once, and I don't even remember.
I didn't really love it. It was a very rough ride. Like, I don't love a lot of those roller coasters that are just like really intense and rough, like shaking your head all over the place. And I don't think I went on it when it was necessarily like, I might have been like before Harry Potter, but probably not. But the queue entrance looked really cool before it was Harry Potter because there was two giant dragons.
Oh, maybe I don't remember it as well as I think
there were two like very large dragons. Like, I'm pretty sure we have a picture of it in our like family photos. I remember my dad went on it while I went on the unicorn ride. But then obviously they built the Wizarding World and this ride was just in the middle of it. So they had to like retheme it and change the entrance again. They got rid of the dragons, I think. And then they had to fit it in and they changed the queue and they like themed it more about Harry Potter.
Wait, so that's probably what I'm thinking. Maybe I didn't write it when it was Dueling Dragons. But
wasn't it always called Dueling Dragons? Just not like the Dueling Dragons?
Right. So initially it was Dueling Dragons and it was red and blue, right? And then
it's always been red and blue.
Okay, right. And then it's Dueling Dragons, but Dragons Harry Potter. And that's when they had like the Triwizard Cup in the queue, and they had like these giant gates that like bang because like there's like an ogre behind it or something like that. That's what I remember. So I don't. What's the word? I've never been on the original one, but I've been on the one after Harry Potter's been on there.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. People are obsessed with the story. Like, I think it was a cool concept for a roller coaster, and eventually they stopped dueling together too. Like, they weren't running at the same time. There was like a situation where something flew out of someone's pocket and like hit someone in the eye or something like that. And so then it wasn't safe.
That's why you're not allowed to have any more cell phones or anything on there. So,
but so now they're doing this haunted house themed after Dueling Dragons.
Do they have a description?
Yes, they do. Dueling Dragons, Choose Thy Fate is what the house is called. Two warlocks, as you said, of great power were turned into dragons after trying to take Merlin's spellbook. Now you and your friends are caught in the epic battle, and you must choose a path and a victor.
That's fun.
Tell us what you think about that, because I'm sure they talked about it in your podcast.
No, they were talking about it. They just pretty much... now that I'm like reading the descriptions myself, it's pretty much exactly what they were talking about. Like everything that they said is literally just a description of that. Oh my god! So I don't know. There's not much to go off it. What I think about this house is going to be unique. Is kind of like the Universal, Legends. What is it? Universal Monster Legends. How the ending last year was either the werewolf or the Dracula or the mummy. It'll have a different victor at the end or whatever. But they were saying that there might be 4 different endings, and also you'd have like 2 different paths to choose from. So it might be like you choose one path and then like the red one or the blue one wins. So that's 2 options. You choose another path and the same thing, red or blue could win. So, but
do you think it's going to be where like you walk into the house and you have to choose your path, or do you think you enter the house and then at some point you have to choose a path?
I don't know. From what I understand, I thought it was going to be like the ending you would choose.
I don't know. It's like,
but then
very
you'd have to go
interesting.
so many times just to get different endings.
And I'm sure that house will be so popular because of that. Like, where do you think they're going to put that house?
That would have to be, I think like the Weekend House, no?
Let's look at the fake spec map.
I think it would be like the Weekend House. I feel like that's a really big like area back there, and even like the Weekend had a whole. They didn't have had like a giant
I feel like that house isn't that big. The Weekend House.
Where do you think it's going to be?
I don't know. I kind of want to look now at the spec map. They're saying that it's going to be in one of the sound stages, like near New York Street. I don't know, whatever. But there's a different description on the Instagram about that.
What's it say?
Like, I feel like the Instagram page posted different stuff.
I wish I would have screenshot this so it would just be faster.
So Halloween Horror Nights Orlando posted, the Great Wizard Merlin has been transformed into the Enchanted Oak, which I'm pretty sure was a big tree that used to be in Lost Continent. It used to be like a quick service place. Leaving a power vacuum. When two powerful warlocks invade his castle to steal his spellbook, they are turned into dragons of fire and ice. Now you and your friends are caught in the middle of their battle and must choose a path and a victor, but beware, you'll never know who will win. Is what a little different on the...
Well, yeah, but that's what they said in the podcast too, so...
Okay.
Same thing. Again, the warlock, the Merlin is gone. I don't know what happened to him. The two warlocks over there turned to dragons, and then they're fighting for the book. For what reason? For what? For power?
Power, I guess.
Power! Unlimited power.
Power for the spell book. Oh, they took the spell book. I don't know. Anyway, are you excited about that house?
I'm excited for that house.
I think there's going to be a lot of puppetry in it. Like, I think there'll be dragon puppets. It'll be cool how they actually, like, bring the dragons to life, if that's the main thing of the story, right?
Yeah, but see, I don't know. Like, what do you mean puppets?
Like, they've done puppets in several haunted houses. They did the chupacabras as puppets. They did the puppets in... there's really puppets in every house.
So, okay, when you say puppets, I'm over here thinking like, hand puppets.
They've done those too, but I'm saying
you're talking
large,
about, like,
big puppets.
Big ones, the one that they're like moving around.
Yes.
I got you. Like they're wheelbarrowing around a dragon's head.
Okay. I don't know about that on a wheelbarrow.
But I'm saying like that's how I see them as.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so now we're going to get into the big one.
Dr. Oddfellows. And this is the house. I'm pretty sure there's a house and a scare zone, but this is Dr. Oddfellows' Twisted Origins. And the description, and you can elaborate on everything that you remember, because I don't even really remember a ton. It's a whole twisted backstory. But Dr. Oddfellows' Twisted Origins, your soul is a price he's willing to pay. You won't be able to resist going inside Dr. Oddfellow's menacing menagerie of twisted oddities. But the price for you and your friends is steep. The cost of your souls to feed his immortal power.
Right. So
there's not even a period there. This is a run-on sentence. Who's running this Instagram and this Facebook page?
We need a data analyticist.
Jocelyn, get your people. I have a typo on the digital page.
Okay. But anyway, so pretty much what I've heard is that Dr. Oddfellow used to have a circus. In that circus, he'd want you to go over there. I mean, he'd like entice you to get to his thing. But when you were there, he would take your soul in order to feed his immortal power or whatever the heck it is.
Question.
Sure.
In the podcast I was listening to, is Dr. Oddfellow a vampire?
No. He's not a vampire.
What is he? Because what's the story with the vampires?
So, and we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a bit. But so this house right here is just pretty much, I'm assuming his circus or his, I don't know. But I'm sure you'll see a lot of like, I don't know. You'll see him, I guess, maybe his staff, a lot of Zodiac stuff because his whole thing is like Zodiac.
He kills the Zodiac signs, right? Or kills...
Yeah, sort of like the Zodiac killers. All I could think about is like Zodiac killer, really. So, but pretty much he runs this circus fair thing that you go through. So maybe a bunch of clowns. I don't know.
Well, the whole thing that I heard was that like this is also how Jack became immortal and they like trapped Jack or something like that. Mm-hmm. But in the podcast, it was like this whole origin story like started as early as 1930.
The podcast, okay, when you're listening to the podcast, Dr. Oddfellow's podcast, or episode, sorry, that has to do with the scare zones.
But it still has to do with the person that this house is about.
Dr. Oddfellow's Twisted Origins, I'm pretty sure, is from the first circus. If you listen to the podcast, there's a circus that everyone dies in.
Yeah.
Right.
And they said...
because of vampires. quote unquote.
So they think that vampires killed them, but they really didn't. It was him that killed them.
I think so, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's what I gathered from it. I mean, he also killed them to take their souls because he needs their souls to stay immortal. But because of the vampires one time came through or something like that, how is it? What's the word when you go into someone's territory?
Invade?
Not invade, because invade feels very... He, like, sneaks in there and tries to be them, blends in.
Infiltrate?
Yeah, there we go. He infiltrates the vampires coven thing. I don't know what the heck they're called. And he says that he's a vampire, that someone turned him into a vampire when they came in and attacked his circus. Blah, 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 blah.
And what's his, like, alias name? There's
Wolf.
like two...
Something Wolf.
Yeah, because there's like two names that they kept saying in the podcast. I was like, who are they?
It's really confusing listening to the podcast. And probably what I'm talking about right now, too, it's really confusing. But the whole thing, it's like... So, Dr. Oddfellow is, again, ringmaster, ringleader, whatever, to a circus. Then he's taking your soul, putting it in his staff. His staff has powers that keeps him immortal. Jack, which is an icon, grew up, I guess, small and he was adopted into a really bad family, I guess abused. He turned out to be, he grew up to be a clown, killed 13 kids, kept them in a suitcase. He murdered, See, this is again getting all over the place. Dr. Oddfellow killed a bunch of people and the police are on him. He changed his circus name to something else and went to a different circus somewhere else, far away, whatever. Jack joined a circus. He killed all those kids. Dr. Oddfellow now is mad at Jack because he said all the cops are after you and they're going to catch me because they know about the circus thing. You know what I mean? You're not understanding?
There's a lot going on. Okay.
Back up. Oh my God, dude. This is the part, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is a story that gets so confusing. Every time there's something else, like last year was the whole thing with the Universal shop. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And now it's like, now the story is Dr. Oddfellow.
They love to make a little twisty story.
Oh my God. And it's like, I love it, but like to explain it, maybe that's why I probably should have wrote notes. And I have notes on my phone, but it's over there. So here we go. Let's start from the beginning. Dr. Oddfellow's had a circus. I'm going to say this so many times. Dr. Oddfellow's had a circus. Yeah. Took everyone's soul. Yes. Police are after him now because he took everyone's souls. Okay. And murdered everyone.
In what year?
1930 something. I don't know. I don't remember. Okay. There's different.
So the first circus was in 1930.
What does it say right there? Does it say right there? No. On the first Scare Zone? No. Dark Zodiac?
I'm pretty sure it's 1930 because I remember in the podcast they said like 1939 or something like that.
Yeah, so whatever, 1930 something. He kills, and then he has to leave and go somewhere else and start a new circus. Or maybe he takes the circus with him, but he names it something else. So now that he's in this new circus, that's where Jack joins up. And Jack is a serial killer that's been killing kids. He killed 13 kids, kept them in 3 trunks. And now the police are after Jack. Jack tells Dr. Oddfellow. Dr. Oddfellow is mad because he's like, you bring the cops over here. The cops are going to catch me along with you. Right? So Dr. Oddfellow kills Jack.
And puts him in a Jack-in-the-Box.
But before he kills Jack, Jack scratches him or like cuts him or whatever. And his immortal blood gets inside Jack. Sort of like a Hulk situation type thing, right? So that's why he traps him inside the little Jack-in-the-Box. But he's immortal now too because he's got the powers of Dr. Oddfellow. But I think later on in life, whatever, someone let Jack out of the Jack-in-the-Box, right? And he goes out and he actually kills Dr. Oddfellow. That's why he has the ringleader jacket and he also has the soul cane thing. Now Dr. Oddfellow is back.
How'd he get back?
Well, in the podcast, they were saying like he's got other worldly powers that, I guess, because he's still technically immortal, brought him back. I don't know, from another dimension or something like that. We're like having a whole Marvel thing. I don't know what's going on right now. That's what I'm saying. It's just so confusing and all of this stuff.
The Halloween Horror Nights multiverse?
Yeah, exactly. The Halloween Horror Nights multiverse. It's just all over the place. And it's just so confusing. But anyway, so then now you have the vampires. He infiltrated the vampires. And he said, I'm one of you guys. You guys left me here. He told them in one story to begin with. And then I guess he like, I don't know how to describe it. He said, you guys attacked my circus. Then he changed the story and said, you guys attacked my circus and you guys turned me into a vampire. And I saw how you guys are so lucky that you guys got to eat all these people. But you guys keep on talking about that. And we've never been able to eat people. I don't know, whatever. I don't really know. But so he pretty much, he kills like one of the strongest vampires to turn his power stronger too. I don't know.
You're probably already sick of us at this point. You're like, you people are Halloween Horror Nights fans. You're freaking dumb. It's very like twisted. It's also like a random story that you're just hearing about for the first time, but like it literally plays into every single one of the scare zones this year. So there's 5 scare zones, and
they all have to do with him.
Yeah, and I'm just now realizing that all of them deal with it, because
that's what I was saying. So that's why let's talk about Dr. Oddfellow last.
Fair, because when I was in the car, there's something where it said like, again, like in 1939, but then in 1969 at a music festival, and then that's why it goes into the Vamp 69 scare zone.
Pause. If I'm gonna, again, like I said, I'm gonna link Discover Universal in the podcast underneath, wherever, Spotify, whatever. But you guys listen to it. Come back in the comments and let us know how stupid we are and what it actually is. But we're just going to give you a rundown right now.
All right, here's all the scare zones. Since I already said it, Vamp 69. Now, again, I could totally go back into every year of Halloween Horror Nights and overanalyze the full stories if we can find them and they exist. But there have been several Vamp scare zones. There was Vamp 55.
Yep, 55.
And then Vamp
80-something.
Yeah, Vamp 80-something. And now this is Vamp 69.
Correct.
I don't know if all of these have to do with Dr. Oddfellow or
they
just
do.
this.
Well, no, they don't have
insane.
something to do with everything with Dr. Oddfellow. They have characters from different, I guess, eras that come to this one or something like that.
Because they're all about vampires, and they're cool because people think that they're really like aesthetic and like with the times. I don't know. Like they're neat scare zones, and I knew when they announced this one, again, it was speculated, but that it would be popular. So Vamp 69, Summer of Blood, at a 60s music fest in small New York town, which it's going to be in the New York section of the park. They've already built the stage and things like that.
Fun. I haven't been to Universal, so maybe I'll go to Universal soon and take some videos of that.
Yeah, I did see it in person. You'll jam to popular bands with fellow concert goers until Dr. Oddfellow unleashes vicious vampires on the audience. They're out for your blood.
I'm pretty sure that's when Dr. Oddfellows went to the Council of Vampires and said, all of you guys are talking about how you guys had all this blood that you guys could feast on, but I've never been able to experience that, and a lot of us haven't. So that's why they're going to the music festival and feasting on all these people.
I think it'll be a neat scare zone, and that whole scare zone area that they do all those big ones in is always like a very popular, very large, obviously. There's going to be a ton of really cool sets, I'm sure, in that area. Also, they're going to be bringing the Universal Tribute Store back to New York this year as well, which I thought that it was going to be like a... like I thought they would like theme it after like a music merch tent or something, since it's like in a festival. But I think I heard somewhere that it's going to be like a comic book store.
Oh, that's fun.
I don't remember where I heard that. I'm like bothering myself. I keep hearing these things and like I can't remember where I saw it, but I know I read comic book store.
Right. And I don't know. For me, last year it wasn't as impressive as the years before. Do you think it was as impressive? Like, did you like that scare zone? No, that scare zone in New York.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, my hot take on the scare zones is like every year, I think that people just continue to use them more and more as like a photo location, and especially the ones that are in the large sections. Like, I know that the Vamp 69 one, people are going to be camped out and literally just taking pictures and like trying to interact, which like, if you like that, good for you. But like, it just makes it really difficult to walk through those sections because they're so busy. I think this one will be good. I know it has a following, obviously.
It also is going to have like, it's going to be hard for you to even get scared just because of all that stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's like the downside of like all these content creators, which I mean, don't put us out. We're probably going to do the same thing, but not the same thing. I'm not going to be in someone's face, recording them, but I do want to be like, oh, look at this stuff, whatever. I don't know. But
that was cool. And in the podcast too, they said there's like, then they say there's like signs or like there's like a sign, like a zodiac sign or something, like marking, and like it kept coming up, and then they're like, it came up at the music festival. Was one of the last times I saw it or something.
So the first time the circus, when everyone died at the circus, oh my God, dude, this episode is just so
we're just getting really ranty.
Yeah, and so like, I'm sorry about it, but it's just, again, like so confusing. The episode of Discover Universal, the Dr. Oddfellows one, is following a girl. I forgot her name. She's a girl vampire. And she's sending a note to her dad because she feels like Dr. Oddfellow is targeting her, and she's actually feeling enticed by Dr. Oddfellow. She doesn't feel like she's going to be able to control herself any longer or whatever. So the first time she went to the carnival where everyone died and she got a hint of Dr. Oddfellow, she saw that there was like a zodiac sign skill. So for like the bull, for a Taurus, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was
she
like
had the bull head,
yeah,
and there's
the bull
someone with the
head.
crab claws.
Right.
And,
So again, so it's everything that's got to do with zodiac. So he also has like a zodiac sign on his head or something like that, and then there's a bigger zodiac piece on his back. I don't know how we're gonna see that, how it's gonna play into everything, but that's what's going on with that. What was I even getting to this? Right. So like the zodiac thing is
one of the signs was at the concert. I just remember them saying.
Right. So when you go through, you're gonna see a bunch of zodiac stuff at every scare zone. But keep your eyes open for zodiac.
I just know I'm gonna be at Horror Nights, just blazing through these scare zones and not even caring after everything we've talked about.
No, I think I'm gonna take my time a little bit.
I kind of want to, but all right. So anyway, we'll go through the rest of these scare zones and just know they're all related. I just think it's interesting, and I didn't realize until looking at this now. But the other scare zone is Dr. Oddfellow's collection of horror. So again, there is a house and there is a scare zone, both named after Dr. Oddfellow. This scare zone, Dr. Oddfellow will lure you. I feel like my microphone's starting to sound weird.
Is it? No, I think it is.
I think I'm just talking weird. Dr. Oddfellow will lure you into Halloween Horror Nights with a promise of immortality. As he lifts the veil on all of the horrors to come, you'll soon realize you may not even survive the night.
So this is probably the entrance, right?
Yeah, that's what I think.
We probably should have gone in order, but
yeah,
we started at Vamp 69 because I'm assuming you're a really big fan of vampires.
Me?
Yeah, I don't know why you started all the way over there.
Because it was it just segued from the last thing we were talking about. We brought up that in 1939, and then there was 1969, so Vamp 69.
Yeah, but 1939 probably would have been the first one.
You said the house was the first one.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. We don't even know where these are going to be placed in the house other than a couple of them, or in the
This was probably going to be the first one, and it's probably just going to show you all the monsters from the other different...
Yes, I think that will be it too.
Mm-hmm. Next one.
Okay. I feel like that one's going to be like the chance one. You know how like you walked through and there was like all the victims from Chance on the sides?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I feel like that's maybe what it will be with the things you were talking about, the like zodiac creatures.
True, yeah.
So that'll be the entrance, whatever. In Minion Land. Cute. I can't talk.
Dark Zodiac.
Can we cut that out?
No, go.
Dark Zodiac. Dr. Oddfellow has entered a dark dimension to harness the power of the Zodiac and live forever. He twists the signs into malevolent beings who foretell your doom. As his star rises, your falls.
This is probably where all the Zodiacs are going to be at.
As I just read that. Yeah, maybe.
So, yeah. Like,
cool.
Where do you think that's going to be at? That's probably going to be at over there by Fast and Furious and all that. You don't think?
I don't know. No. I think that one will be... I think that one's going to be over in Hollywood.
Okay.
Unless...
From like Jason Bourne, where Jason Bourne's at.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then there is... We'll skip... Well, no, we'll go with this one. The next one is Jungle of Doom. So this one on the spec map was just called Jungle.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, again, someone knew something. But Jungle of Doom, Expedition Horror in the 1920s. So this is maybe like the very beginnings of like Dr. Oddfellow. Dr. Oddfellow ventured deep into the darkest jungle, performing horrific experiments on nature. Now his monstrous creations are running amok and coming after you. So maybe before the circus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably before the circus. So this is probably his original origin. And this is probably going to be where the corn maze was.
I think that's where there's already set pieces. So yeah, I think that's going to be where what was it called?
I like corn.
Also,
that's not even the thing. I like turtles.
Corn.
Corn. That's what it is. Nah.
What was that one called? Scarecrow, right?
No, Scarecrow was the house, wasn't it?
Yeah, but Scarecrow was the same concept. Scarecrow harvest something. It was the Scarecrows.
Pause real quick. Now that you're thinking about it, or now that you're talking about it, the Roanoke house, right? I think that's gonna be kind of like the Scarecrow house, right? I haven't been to the Scarecrow house, but I mean,
that house was really good.
Colonial.
I forget what year that was.
It was the year 2017 or the 26th because I didn't go to the 26th. I worked the 25th. I didn't go to the 26th.
Mm.
So, yeah, I think that's gonna be like the same as that.
Farmy,
yeah.
All right, and then the last one we already talked about, Vamp 69, and we said that one's gonna be over in the New York Street by the new tribute store that's gonna come back. And like Jimmy Fallon and Mummy and stuff.
Right, yeah.
And then the last one is going to be Shipyard 32, Horrors Unhinged. Enter a 1940s San Francisco shipping yard. So that's going to be over in the San Francisco area by Fast and Furious.
Makes sense. Also, because the pier is over there with all those bars.
Yeah, they always put like a
small.
Well, like a small, but I'm saying like a themed. Like they had the Dead Man's Wharf one there the one year.
Yeah, Dead Man's
like,
Wharf. They had like aliens the other year over there. No, they had the aliens over there that one year.
I guess. So enter 1940 San Francisco shipping yard full of mysterious crates and cages bearing Dr. Oddfellow's symbol.
Zodiac stuff.
Beware, his nightmarish oddities have now escaped, spreading fear and chaos in their wake. I'm confused. Like, are there just going to be like all the Zodiac people everywhere?
I have no idea. If he's experimenting on all this stuff, I really don't know what it is. And again, then, until we get a better description of what it is, I couldn't tell you what they're going to have.
And then random vampires. But those are all of the scare zones. I don't know that there's necessarily one that I'm excited about over the other. I think the jungle one could be cool maybe. And I'm sure the vampire one will be neat. But like,
the jungle one's going to be really small. So is the shipyard. What is it called?
Yeah, the shipyard one will be small too. It's just because they're so narrow. Like they're very bottlenecked. And it's already hard enough to get through there as is. But then when people are stopping, and last year, yeah, everyone was stopping because of the whole corn thing. Well, there's the corn thing, but I'm talking about the one in San Francisco where they've done that in the last couple of years. They do like sets, like stage sets, and people stop to watch the stage, but there's just not room to stop and watch it.
Right. So it started with what was the first one the first one that I remember is the YouTube one, right? What was it called?
Actually, a bunch. There's been quite a few. They did the what was it called? Like something TV.
Yeah, that's the YouTube one I'm thinking
Fear
about.
TV, Scare TV. I don't know. They did that one with several sets. They did the Witch one last year with the stage show. They did the Rob Zombie one the one year. That was out of control.
Yeah, and that's just like everyone was just there staring at whatever's going on.
So. I don't know. And I guess they put stages in a lot of the scare zones, but like I just think that there's some that it doesn't work good.
No, I feel like they do like the stages where they should. I don't know.
Because the Graveyard one has stages too, and they've done vamp scare zones in the Hollywood section by Jason Bourne, but like there's a lot of
always so much room.
There's a lot of room there.
But yeah, it is bottlenecked, so that would make sense. But whatever.
But those are all of your scare zones. Those are all of your haunted houses. We're also getting one show. Returning is going to be Nightmare Fuel Revenge Dream. I'm sure it's going to be the same thing as the last 2 years.
They said it's going to be a new dreamer
but the same thing. It's always the same show. The one guy, the dancer that I saw him walking around the one day at Universal.
The guy who does all that stuff.
Was he in last year's?
I thought so.
Are you sure?
Dang, maybe he wasn't. No, I'm pretty sure your dad was like, whoa, look at him. Maybe that was another year too.
Well, because they used to do the Academy of Villains, but they don't do those anymore. I know, what the heck, man.
Bring the Academy of Villains back.
I'm pretty sure there was like
Academy of Villains back.
Sus stuff happening. But Nightmare Fuel Revenge Dream.
Come back.
I just said that they were being, I don't know. I heard they were being inappropriate or they're not good people.
Oof. Dang, dude. You guys, never mind. You guys are really good. Why are you guys doing stuff?
For the third time trying to read this description, the show that has sparked your darkest dreams has reignited. Let your nightmares burn out of control as the pyro and aerial performers fire you up to the beat of metal and electronica. It's going to be the same. If you've seen the show, it's a good show, I guess, but I don't think it will be anything new. There's going to be a little thing at the end probably where like they do a little magic trick and they end up in the bed again. Explosions, pyro, people throwing fire around. It's a good show. Mm-hmm. Is this the new merch for the year? I guess so. Is that food too? There's some food and then there's merch. Fun. Looks like a Ouija board. Ouija board, circusy type thing. Yeah. They love a carnival. They love carnivals, But rides will be open. Dining and shopping, of course. They'll do all their food booths. Right now that we're talking about this, let's talk about the Wizarding World, because I just saw TikTok about the crates being out for that stuff. So that means that there are going to be Death Eaters. So like they said, there's not going to be a safe space anymore for you to be walking around. Like the Wizarding World used to be like an area you could walk around, and it's not really Halloween Horror Nights. Yeah. But now it's going to be a little bit more horror theme because of the Death Eaters, which I don't think is super scary, but I think it'll be cool. I thought though that like J.K. Rowling said that it was never allowed to be involved, but if they do the Death Eaters and islands, I guess it's like a way around it. Mm-hmm. Loophole. Yeah, that'll be neat. It's actually interesting that they don't talk about that on the Horror Nights website, so it's not like maybe included in Horror Nights,
Right,
but like
right.
it is. Are they going to do it over in Islands as well, like both, or just now one or the other?
I'm sure they will do it because it's like Halloween time. You know, they do like the Halloween show for the castle, so I'm sure they'll have them
It was
run
cool.
around.
We saw it last
Yeah.
year. What were
Video of
what
it
are the
right here.
crates though? They like interact with them or something?
I don't know. It's just like their theme or something. They like crates.
I like crates.
I like.
One of the other things that they have each year that they've started doing is over at Cabana Bay Beach Resort, which I like that resort. It's supposed to be like one of their value ones, but I think it's really nice. I don't know if you liked it, but I would stay there again and again.
I enjoyed it, yeah.
But they always do like a little like photo opt or like some type of little like interactive experience.
Bar thing.
Yeah, they do the bar as well. But this year they're doing the Chucky's Twisted Playground.
That's the bar.
No.
That's not the bar? Oops, sorry. That's not the bar?
It's not the bar. This is going to say, you can run, but you can't hide. Keep the screams going at Universal's Cabana Bay Beach Resort. Pose for photos at Chucky's Twisted Playground, a photo illusion experience based on the USA and sci-fi series featuring 5 uniquely scary photo opportunities. Chucky's Twisted Playground is exclusive to guests of any Universal Orlando Resort hotel. So you do have to be staying in a hotel. You don't have to be staying at Cabana Bay, but it is a perk for anyone staying on property. So if you're not staying on property, you're not able to do this experience.
Mm-hmm.
My microphone definitely sounds weird. I feel like it keeps changing.
I don't know. It's probably the wiring. I have to change my
if you
microphone
guys-
too. So
If it doesn't sound good.
might have to buy another one.
But like you said, plus there is going to be the drinks, the bars, which we did get a drink that one year. I think it's just like
picture here.
It's cute. It's like a nice perk if you're staying at Cabana Bay and
But
just
that one you don't need to be staying at.
no, you could just go to that resort and go to that bar. But I think it's fun. I think it's fun that like they theme a bar at one of the hotels to Horror Nights.
But this one, this bar theme is supposed to be Little Boo, right? It probably doesn't say, but on the podcast I heard that it is going to be Little Boo themed.
That's true. We don't have Little Boo. Well, maybe Little Boo will be somewhere. Maybe he'll be at this bar. And it's usually never really that busy, but like I said, it's fun. It's a nice perk. Like when we stayed at Cabana Bay a couple years ago and you like stay in your hotel room and then you like go down the lobby and grab your fun drinks, like get your night started. And they're obviously themed to like Horror Nights and Halloween stuff. And then like you walk or you go to the park. I don't know. I like it. I want to stay. I want to stay at a hotel this year. For like
what are we doing this year for Halloween? Every single thing in the world. We got Halloween Horror Nights. We've got Disneyland. Oogie Boogie. We got. What are we doing? We're just gonna spend money out the butt.
Yes, this is a time of year that I literally plan my vacation time around and spend money. Unfortunately, because it's exciting and all the good stuff happens around that time of year.
I agree.
It's once a year.
I
It
also
just
want to do an
lasts for
RV
2 months.
tour, though. So,
about the bar, it's drink and tear at one of the following spots featuring Halloween themed drinks. Actually, interesting. I didn't know this. So we were just talking about the Swizzle Lounge is what it's called at Cabana Bay Beach Resort. But they also have the Spooky Sunset Lounge at Universal's Endless Summer Resort, which is cool. So that's a second one. And nice for them because if you're staying at that hotel, it is far. It is far, but like I'm glad that they have something at their hotel because people will stay there. It is the cheapest hotel that they have. I wouldn't be against it except for the fact that like you have to take a bus.
Yeah, it's really far from them.
But I would like to go look at those hotels one day. We've never done that before.
I mean, if it's a free bar, might as well just jump in there, right?
Yeah. And then try specialty Halloween themed cocktails at 8 Universal resort hotels. So there will be special drinks, maybe not like a dedicated bar that's decorated.
Yeah, we're going to be
themed.
doing a resort bar crawl for every specialty
we could
drink.
Do that.
That could be fun.
That'd be fun.
TikTok idea. Heck yeah.
Cool. And then this says Universal Monsters Gallery of Legends. Be sure to set aside time to visit the other 6 Universal hotels as you go on a photo hunt to find different Universal Monster photo opportunities waiting in your hotel lobbies. That's cool.
So bar crawl with a photo op.
That's fun. I literally would not have known that unless I didn't read this. So I like that.
I know. And so again, like I feel like with Halloween Horror Nights, if you're not specifically looking for things like the stories or what's going on, you're not going to find those things.
And this is why I feel like you have to have the frequent fear pass.
Yeah, there's just so much to do. You're not going to be able to go and experience every ending at the Dueling Dragons. You're not going to go and experience or see every scare actor at every scare zone.
Right. Or like you go through a house once and like it just sits bad with you because you had a poor experience. Like, unfortunately, you didn't get all the scares because of timing.
The person in front of you got all the scares, or the person behind you, like you're just going through a zone where everyone's just kind of like leaned back.
Yeah, you need to go a couple times. And like, I would hope, like last year, Andrew and Tara came down and I kind of was like, you need to buy the pass. We have to go a couple times. Yes, could you do a night? Sure. But I think that you need to at least do 2 or 3 nights to get the full piece.
Did they? No, right? They just did one night.
No, we did a couple nights.
I don't remember.
That's because everyone was very drunk. That's probably why you don't remember. But it was a fun time. And again, like if you're locals and you have the pass, you don't have to be in the park the whole night. You're able to spread it out. You're able to do these fun different things. And I'm glad that Universal is adding more stuff for their guests to do. Like this little photo hunt. It could be like kind of dumb, but I think it's just nice that it's an option. So each one of your horror nights can be different.
Right.
I'm excited now. And that's why I literally want to have the time off to do this, because I also don't want to feel rushed. Inevitably, I will feel rushed.
If you've gotten this far in the podcast, you're probably thinking these guys are idiots and don't know anything about Halloween Horror Nights because they don't know how to describe anything about what's actually going on in Halloween Horror Nights, which is not true because the podcast started from Halloween Horror Nights. I don't know if I've said that already. I don't think I have.
You did.
In the beginning?
Yes.
No, I think it was a different
beginning. You literally...
that we tried. I think we started a new one. I don't know. Maybe I did say it. I don't know. But yeah, like I said, Halloween Horror Nights started this podcast. We decided to do it because of Halloween Horror Nights. And so it's one of our biggest, our best, our favorite things to do during the season. So we're excited. But some quick tips. What were we saying? Oh, yeah. If you guys are staying at a resort, you get your own entrance for the event. You also, I think, get like early access as well, right? Something like that. I don't know. They were saying that. But also
we've only done it once. I guess you do get your own entrance. I don't really remember that, but I think you're right.
No, they said that you get your own entrance. But also, if you do have the pass and you want to stay there, like if you're an annual pass holder or you're there during the day, stay there for the
Stay and Scream.
Stay and Scream.
You can purchase Stay and Scream as well. It's like $30 extra dollars,
like
which could be good. It's kind of almost like a very like mini express pass for the houses.
I think it's worth it 100%. Last year we did one and we did it for what? We did 4 houses in 1 hour, which is insane because like one house by the time everyone gets there is already an hour long.
Yeah, I think that would be a good investment. Like if you know that you only have a weekend to do horror nights, it's easy to blow $30 on like breathing in Universal. So why not spend it on something where you'll actually get a really good jump start on your night? And you can choose which scare zone you want to wait in. So depending on like if you say you really want to do the Stranger Things house, I'm sure that scare zone will advertise where you can wait.
Yeah, they'll have a queue for you. It's not like you're just standing there all waiting and then everyone rushes it. You get in a line already for that house. While they're opening up the gates over there, you're already in it because I think they let you in like what, 5-10 minutes earlier?
It might even be more than that.
Yeah, so again, you're already going. People were coming.
No, more than 5-10 minutes, because if we did more than 3 houses during that, it's probably like an hour, half hour, or something like that.
No, I don't think it's that crazy.
I think it.
But they do let you go in there and they let you start it up. And like I said, we did the 4 houses and we were pretty much done.
And I think it's fun. Like we only did it, I think, that one time because it was hard. We'd be like rushing there like after work and things like that, which sucks because it does start at like 5 or 6 and the event starts at 6 or 7 or something. But if you're there with friends or whatever, like we just go, like you can get drinks and food and like hang out in the scare zone or Stay and Scream area as well. I don't know. It's just like a good start to your night. And obviously the earlier that you start, you might be able to leave early too if you're not trying to stay all night long.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But again, if you are a pass holder or you have a ticket, that is a perk to you. You have admission to be there before the event starts if otherwise if you didn't have that. So that's a good tip. Obviously there's going to be all the food and drinks and beverages. I don't know that any of those menus have actually been released yet, but I'm sure soon they will.
Right. And Alex already speculated pizza from...
Oh, yes. I said that's another one of my speculations. You better be writing down these speculations because I'm convinced that they're going to happen. Stranger Things, the big thing from Stranger Things 4 was Surfer Boy Pizza. There has to be a Surfer Boy Pizza stand. There has to be a
Surfer
pizza
Boy
stand.
Pizza shirt. And it better be... That's another thing. Look, these shirts, for me, like, that's probably my favorite shirt. I couldn't find it, so I had to wear this one.
I do hope the merch is good.
But the whole thing with me is, like, I get it, like, people like this style, but I just want something minimal. Put something minimal here and give me a big logo on the back. I don't really care. But this is kind of like, meh. I'm not going to wear it, just regular days out there, so... They need to do stuff that like I can wear all year round, and then people are like, oh, Halloween Horror Nights, I want to go there eventually.
I hope
So
the
they
merch
need
is
to
good.
do like their marketing better. Or
I don't know
something.
about the stuff that they're showing here, like the
Doesn't
stuff that
look
they're
appealing.
showing in the
I'll
picture.
put a picture of.
It's like a Ouija board, and they have a backpack. They have one of the big like fans. I guess those are popular.
What fans?
The fans, like the big fans. You've
the
not
foldable
seen those?
ones.
Yeah,
The ones that, okay.
but they're like giant.
Yeah.
But they also had a lot of different theme merch last year too, and I feel like they kept pumping it out. And I'm sure that they've released merch already, like based off of all the houses. Every time they announced a house, like with a new IP, they would like release the house merch, the Vecna shirt.
Oh right, yeah,
the Exorcism shirt they have out. Exorcist.
Alex needs an exorcism, dude. I don't know what she's talking about.
But that's pretty much everything that they're doing at the event. There is something that they're doing. I would have to obviously find it, but I want to say it's like $170 or something like that.
Oh, for the individual behind the scenes tour thing?
No, they're like starting. It's like before the event starts. They're calling it almost like a preview to Horror Nights, but the food, and it's like an event that you pay like $170 for. And you get to have like tastings of the food that they're going to have at the event for that year. And like the alcohol is included.
That's kind of cool.
You have to buy your ticket still, obviously, but it's going to be a premium thing. It's like a, like, I forgot what they called it. It's like celebrate the horror early or something like that. It's like a preview. I think it's kind of expensive.
Yeah, I was
like,
gonna say, for
I guess
food,
it's
kind
cool,
of expensive.
but seems kind of gimmicky. I don't really know totally what the point is.
It better be like good portion sizes. You better not be giving me little tiny...
I don't know if you had $170 to blow, but like I don't. And then the other thing that we talked about too is they do the tours. Are they doing the Unmasking the tour?
I think they are. I think that's what I heard.
Tour?
Yeah, I think that's what I was listening to it this morning. They were talking about it. So.
I would like to do one of those, but again, expensive. But I think those would be really cool for two reasons. I know a lot of people that are afraid of the haunted houses. They like to do those because you get to see them with the lights on, and like you learn the stories obviously of the house, and you get to see what the house looks like with the sets and things.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think it'd be really cool if you're really into Horror Nights, because you do get to learn all that stuff and see all those things and have all those like Easter eggs pointed out to you that again you may not ever end up knowing. I don't know what that price is.
I don't know either, but I mean, yeah, it'd be cool, but I'd rather just do the regular tour. If I'm already spending half of the money for that, I'd just put the whole money for a regular RIP tour and just do all the houses with friends.
As much as I would love to do one of those, I still don't know.
We're on the fence, but
they're
we might
very
do it. We
expensive. But it's
I mean, not having to do with Halloween Horror Nights. I also want to stay at what is it? Not Fort Wilderness Lodge. Wilderness Lodge? No. Is it Fort Wilderness?
At Disney?
Yeah, because they have the Halloween stuff going on too, and you can get your stuff.
Now you're really talking about we're doing everything this year.
I just like Halloween. I don't know.
Halloween is cool.
I like Halloween. No, but it's like I like turtles, but no.
No, Halloween is cool. It's from Halloween Town. But anyway.
Oh yeah, I don't really watch that.
We'll see. I don't know. I would like to do a RIP tour. I don't know if it'll happen. They are really expensive, and the hard part is like I would like to do a private one. And do we have enough people? Because you can have up to 10, I think, or need to really have up to 10.
I think,
and it just seems like everybody wants to be flaky on Horror Nights this year, or is afraid.
Yeah, but I mean, we can
it's
have
fine.
family
I
and stuff
understand.
on that.
Yeah, we'll see. There'll be people that come down. If not, I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, so.
But I'm excited. So we will see. We still have 1 month until Horror Nights, because tomorrow's August 1st.
Nice.
So the event starts September 1st. It goes all the way until November this year.
Does it really?
They added a week. I think it ends like November 5th or something.
No, I feel like they always do that.
No. Well, then maybe it goes past. What are the dates this year? They definitely like extended it.
I thought it was always like September 1st or 2nd to like November 5th.
Oh, November 4th. But are we
the same
sure?
Thing. I'm pretty sure it's the same thing. Yeah.
I don't know.
Because they do like the 31st and then like 2 extra days or something like that. What does it say there? Does it say 31st and 2 extra days? Does it show the thing?
It just showed November 4th.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. So I think it's the same thing as they do every year.
But we're going to go the opening night. Mm-hmm. So we will be there and we're ready. And I hope that what's the first house you want to do? I want to do Stranger Things. I know that's going to be the one that people are going to be waiting for, and it's going to be crazy, but it's
going to be the whole weekend house all over again. We waited for how many hours for the weekend house, and then that was the only house we ended up doing. Oh, my brother ended up doing. We ended up doing another house, didn't we? Did we do the Bugs house that night too?
I think we did the Bug house.
So maybe we'll hit like 1 or 2 houses the first day. I mean, depending on how the lines are. I mean, if they're making us choose a date so they can control it, maybe the lines will be not as bad. Fingers crossed. That's what we're able to
I
do.
really wanted to get a hotel room for that night too.
For September 1st. I have to check because if I have,
I think you work.
if I do work, I might just ask off. I have
I
vacation
don't
days.
know if I can ask off. Maybe I'll try.
We'll see. We'll have it. But that's what's going on. Halloween Horror Nights 32. I'm excited. Alex is excited. That's about it. Next time we go, we'll talk about it. Or when it comes up closer, we'll talk about it. Or maybe after we've already done the first night, we'll talk about it.
I need to listen to these podcasts on the Universal podcast more, and I'm sure they'll release more as well.
They are going to be releasing. I've been noticing, like, since July, they've been throwing these out like crazy.
I'm prepared. Are you off that day, the first day? Or
my
do you
phone's
work?
over there. You have my calendar right there on your phone, so I don't know.
Last year, I literally went and like picked you up from work and was like,
Yeah.
"Get in the car, let's go."
And and then we went to the weekend house for good. It was a good time.
I honestly don't even remember it being that bad, like busy way. It says you work days,
Oh, so I'll be good.
so I'm gonna have to pick you up,
Yeah, probably.
and you work the next day too.
Fine. I'll be up all night. It doesn't matter.
We'll see, but cool, good
Halloween Horror
podcast.
Nice.
I'm excited. I already want to get my outfits. I want an Eddie Benson shirt.
Ugh. Gross.
I
Everybody
need
else
it.
bandwagon. But let's close this out. How do we usually close it out? I don't know. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us on Instagram. Half the Adventures. Don't email us. Talk to us on the comments. Talk to us on DMs.
Yeah, no one emails.
I mean, no one emails to begin with, but don't email us. I don't care. I don't even care anymore. I'm not gonna
But
say it.
interact with us on our socials.
Yeah, Instagram,
because we love to see it.
Threads, YouTube.
Tell us what house you're excited for. Tell us if you're going to Halloween Horror Nights this year. Tell us your plans. Give us some ideas. Give us maybe some things that we didn't talk about in this podcast. If you know Dr. Oddfellow, please tell us if you understand it better.
Yeah, and don't be shy. Tell us we're idiots.
Don't be shy.
Yeah. But that's it, right? Stay
Yeah.
spooky.
Thanks for listening. And then stay tuned for the next episode.
Yep. Bye.
Cool. Toodles.